Hey friends, it's Father Jay here. Another Tuesday afternoon update for you. Here outside of this door to the church that many of you may have had your picture taken with, either for a Christmas card or a wedding or baptismal photo. It's a very iconic door here at Calvary, and one that I know a lot of folks are longing to go through. And it's my hope as well that we'll be able to go through these doors as soon as we safely can. And as you know, the Governor Cooper, has extended an order through May the 8th, which is the end of this week. And even beyond that, has some guidelines on how many people may gather, how often, and so forth. And so following his direction and the direction of our bishop, because as a church we all want to be on the same page, we will be carefully working to open Calvary safely. And our vestry is paying close attention to that. But before that happens, there are still ways for us to gather. I know many of you have been gathering for the Sunday afternoon Bible studies that take place at 2 o'clock and look at the lectionary readings for that week. Others of you have been gathering with Deacon Jackie on Mondays at 2 o'clock for tea with the deacon. And some of you have already responded to our survey asking about what other small gatherings you might be interested in participating in. And if you haven't done that, I urge you to go to our website, go to the bottom of the home page. You'll see our news update section, and in that section you will find a story about that survey and how you can fill one out as well. All of these are happening online. All of these are happening virtually. So we hope that you will join us as you can. You may be able to hear in the background that work continues outside Calvary, keeping our space beautiful and well cared for. There's work going on inside Calvary as well, in a number of different places. And we'll show you one of those today, and some of the others as time goes along. But for now, let's go inside the sanctuary and see what we can see. Now, this is a scene that I know we've gotten kind of familiar with from our Sunday morning services. This view of the podium, the altar, and the pulpit here, although you don't really see the pulpit on Sunday mornings. And of course, the biggest difference here is the altar has been moved forward in the chancel, in the area where the choir and the clergy sit on a typical Sunday morning. And one of the experiences that we have had as a result is to gather around this table rather than to gather in front of this table. And I know often in the past you have heard us preach about the idea of gathering around a table, but that's something that only recently, only in the last couple of months, have we been able to actually do. So as we come up here, you can see how these chairs are gathered. Some of these chairs are more spaced out during a typical service. But this gives us the opportunity then to be around the table, and that table is then much closer to the congregation, where the congregation has sat and where the congregation will be. And of course, this gives additional room for our choir and our quartet right now. But we have retained, of course, this reredos, this beautiful screen that goes behind the altar, and, of course, our magnificent organ. But as we think about both the time ahead, when we will gather back together in perhaps smaller groups, and then the time when we are all finally gathered back together, one of the things that will be interesting to try is to see how our worship is enhanced by the position of this altar. That it be pulled forward a little bit more, that there be more people gathered all of the way around. When we initially return, that might be a necessity because of our social distancing guidelines. But when we are back fully together, we may find that it fits more with our understanding today of the Eucharist and of everyone's part in the Eucharist. Priest, deacon, layperson, the servers, all of us being closer to and having a part in our Eucharistic service. So that's just a little bit of what's happening here inside the church. And we hope that when you are able to return, you'll get to experience the ways in which this position of the altar can enhance our worship, can make it safer in the short run, but perhaps connect us all more closely to the Eucharist when we are all gathered together.